everybody. I'm going to say this. Social media has no shortage of people displaying they're living in states of abject terror 24/7. And if you notice, most of it's coming from famous people. They don't give a damn about anything else but losing their little spot. And they're trying to promote that state of terror. Personally, I've taken to just blocking them, because I don't care to live in that. That's their problem, and I'm willing to let it be their problem. Don't get me wrong, I'm sympathetic, but if anyone thinks that that's going to be me 24/7, ooh, well, fear, especially that level of it, it will kill everything that you have ever dreamed of doing. It will paralyze you. It will take you out of the game. And for people who live in states of that kind of anxiety, well, I can't help them. So, no thank you. Miss me with that. And for some of you, actually for anyone showing up, you watching this right now, I know that you're probably saying it too. And the reason that you're saying it is because you're not about to give up your dreams. You're not about to give up your desires. You're not about to give up your abilities to accomplish over what someone else is scared of. And don't you know that's exactly what people will do? They will try to tear down anything that you try to accomplish. They will call it things like ableist. They will call you some kind of ist or phobe, just so that you never accomplish, so that you never rise either to their level, or that you never rise above theirs, which is what they really fear. They're afraid of you holding up a mirror to them and showing them they can do it too, and they really have no excuses. No victims on my channel. No victims in my feed. No victims in the likes or comments or views. That's how this works. And I know there are people out there right now probably watching going, but, well, I'm not here to change your mind. But if you're here, you're obviously doubting that. So, let's see if I can't foment a little more doubt in that. Alright? So, let's start with you, as we always do on Traditional Thursday. This is where I get to tell you, you have a great responsibility. Because Vigvisir, the compass, any compass has to point you in the right direction. Which direction are you pointing people in? That's going to be the big question to ask. Because the 9 worlds, once again, you're connected to something much larger. You don't think that your little actions have any bearing on anything else, but they do. They have a hell of a lot to bear on everything else, because what happens to one will happen to a great many others. You have to start understanding that. Because if you're leading people down the path of fear, you are destroying their dreams, you are destroying their hopes, their wishes, their desires. Why don't theirs count? And just as well as you could foment fear, you could also foment something else. Encouragement. You could help someone else with their project. Now, obviously not out of the kindness of my heart, but I did go through 70-something pages of the Basic Experts new edition of Cowpunchers. Why do I say not out of the kindness of my heart? Because I do have my motives for doing it. I want to see him succeed. Of course, I'm I'm probably getting a free copy of the book, but that's beside the point. And also, I got to look into what it's going to become. I've already read the initial version, which is still good, might I add. And I still recommend that you purchase it because it is good, especially if you like a good Western game. It's very rules light. You can set it up in minutes, you can set up characters in minutes, and you can just start playing. There'll be a showdown at high noon, right in the center of the city. Not much of a city, is it? But anyway, you wanted to play a High Plains Drifter sort of game or a John Wayne sort of game, that's your game right there. So's Wretched Country. You should check that one out too. But I did it because I know something. When we all work together, and listen, let me put it this way. He even made me an offer, and I told him I turned part of it down. I was like, I'll just take a copy of the book. I'm happy with that. And then I went through and I made the little edits and cleaned up some verbiage, and it was all good. And I'm looking forward to the next batch, because I'll do it again and again and again. Even while I'm writing my own thing. Because if we're pulling our resources together, if we're unifying, if we're coming together on it, remember how nothing could stand against it? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today. When you take what you love the most and you make that matter over everything else, and you work with others because they have the same goals, the same drives, the same desires, the same functions, and you disregard all those people who say, no, you can't do that, well, you weren't asking their permission, their consent, or approval. And then that thing that you love becomes even bigger. It matters more. And it lights you up just a little bit brighter. Tell them to get a fucking pair of shades. What are you being guided by in nature, I wonder? And there it is. Cat spirit. This is where you get to claim your independence. Now, what it's telling you is that yes, you're connected. But you do have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to stand out when it's necessary. To sing your song, to voice your opinion, and to do so in a way that it is persuasive and influential, not in a way that berates, belittles, and destroys. You are here to build something, not destroy something else. In your tarot, got a High Priestess. Actually, I'm pretty sure, yeah, pretty sure I put the deck completely upside down. Yeah, I did. Did I? No, I didn't. I did not. So these are in reverse, my bad. We got a High Priestess in reverse. We do have a Tower in reverse. We probably have another card in reverse here. Nope. We got a Five of Cups. So, you could still be independent, but you're still being asked to consider that others, you still need to trust your intuition, but you also need to be open. Take the advice of others. Those others are there to kind of help you too. As much as you're there to help them, they're there to help you. And where you're not so experienced, perhaps they are. Again, that's not being ableist. That's building. Where you have a weakness in the wall, you put another brick and some mortar in there, and you wait for it to cure and dry, and there you go. The wall's even stronger now. Because of one patch. One patch that was done correctly. You got a crack in that wall, you shove some mortar in there, you wait for it to cure, and guess what? That wall's a little stronger than it was before. Got the Tower card in reverse. We're not tearing down, we're building. Remember that. Very simple and to the point. And then this Five of Cups. All that pain and regret's not going to do a damn thing if you don't learn from it. So the question is, what did you learn from it? What can you learn from it? Because again, you do have a responsibility while being independent, while asserting the authority you may have, while doing what it is you're great at doing. What did you learn? Why do we fall? so we can learn to pick ourselves back up again. Alright, Shaman's Dream Oracle time. We've got Crown Games. We've got a Metox. Oh, looking right at that Five of Cups. And we got a Root Girl. Okay, so what does all this mean? Well, right now you do possess some power. In fact, you possess a lot of power. As I've said before, there are powerful individuals showing up to this channel every day. You're watching this because you're one of them. But you're going to have to learn how to use it properly. You're going to have to learn how to leverage it the right way. Today is not a good... I know heavy is the head that wears the crown, but there are days where being a tyrant is not going to help you. Today is one of those days. Also, I want you to look at something. There's a lot of gold and some red in there. Today is Thor's Day. He's known for having red hair and a red beard. He's known for wielding Mjolnir. He's known for, throwing lightning across the sky. He's known for being able to absolutely smash the shit out of obstacles or anything standing in his way. He is hot-headed, but he's reliable. We all know someone like that. So before you allow the victim state to make you into some kind of tyrant, this is where you get to show that you've risen above that. Because here's where it is right here. You're building, you want to be independent, you want to direct people on the right path. That's great. But there's something you got to do first. It's a little Metox. You're going to have to repair your mind and body and spirit. You're going to have to heal. You got to see to that before you see to anything else. That's going to come with learning. That's going to come with growth. I wouldn't be surprised to see Barcano in here, but that's what it's going to take. Because if you're not repaired yourself, how can you expect to repair someone else? It does not work. And then there's this Root Girl, this disowned self. This reminds me of a quote that I heard, and I cannot remember where it's from, and if anyone remembers, drop it in the comments below, please. But the quote was, "You cannot have roots and wings at the same time." Now, this disowned self, I can tell you one thing, for me it was about disowning that self-pity, disowning that victim mentality of someone owes me. Because no one does. And ain't nobody paying up. Nor would I want them to now. Now that I see very, very clearly what that was doing to me. That disowned self was humorless. Took himself way too seriously. Meanwhile, everybody else was laughing at him. And it wasn't because he was funny. It's because he just darkened the shit out of himself. Because of other people. Never once did he realize that all of that was designed to get him to stop. And they were winning. Once that came along, then the polar shift happened. Now you got this channel today. Alright, so that former self also drank coffee like a fiend. Nowadays it's just tea, so we're good. Anyway, getting down to the runes and capping this off, we've got Evaz, we have Thudisaz, and we have Rider-Waite. Okay, so no Barcano. But here's the thing about Evaz. You have to remain flexible, because that which doesn't bend eventually breaks. Take it from a guy who's lived through a couple hurricanes in his life. I saw an entire tree uprooted. The taproot was completely torn. This was a big tree that myself and several others climbed as kids. We always thought that tree would be there. And after that one hurricane, there was only a gaping hole where that tree once stood. It didn't bend, but the roots darn sure broke. And sadly, that tree is no longer there. Let that tree be a lesson to you. Because the 9 worlds hang on Yggdrasil. Again, that which doesn't bend will eventually break. We have Thurusaz, the first rune that spells the name of Thor. Struggle and conflict, they're always going to be there. If you live a life without it, guess what? You grow soft, you grow lazy, you grow entitled. And then after a while, it's not just in the body, it's also in the mind. Because again, with Rider-Waite, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. I can tell you this just from reading really good books, from reading, or just from telling really good stories. All the best stories have a protagonist that starts at one point, can't seem to get their shit together, and by the end of it, they've changed. And they find that maybe the destination isn't really quite where they want to be. And they look back on their quest and they say, let's do it again. It's the reason we play games. It's the reason we watch movies. It's the reason we read books. It's the reason we tell each other the stories we tell. So which story are you going to tell? That's the question. The story I told you about myself is an old one. And guess what? At some point I was tired of that old story and I decided to tell a new one. But the decision was mine. So the question is, what decision will you make? Which story to tell? Which way? Human being. And that's really all I have for you today. We will not be doing Full Scale Friday tomorrow. Since I'm off tomorrow, I am going to be doing a live stream that's going to be on YouTube, 11:15 p.m. 11:15 a.m. Tea with Raven for this Friday morning. Who knows? Maybe cards will be drawn. Moots has told me she will be there. Let's gather around and have some fun live for a change. And if you got tomorrow off, or you can join us even for a few minutes, that would be great. Alright? Thank you so much for joining in. Hey, there's something else I want to tell you. Kind of thought about it this morning. If you're in a state of complete and abject terror and you're watching this channel right now, allow me. I want you to just sit inside your home today, if you have the luxury of it. If not, do it when you get a little time. And if you don't, here's what I want you to do. Live consciously today. I want you to think of all the things that you do have. Your health, the fact that you woke up on the side of the grass, a job, money in your pocket. I want you to think of all that you have right now. And I want you to just say, well, thank goodness I have this. Thank goodness I have that. Oh, thank goodness I'm breathing. As you go throughout your day, find out all the good and just be thankful for it. Thank goodness I have this. Thank goodness I have that. Oh, thank goodness for that person. By the end of the day, you won't be stressed out. You're a little too blessed to be stressed, so don't stress. And watch the fear dissolve and fade away, because darkness can't stand the light. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you. I love you all. Take care of yourselves and each other. Always do what lights you up. And be thankful for what lights you up. Be thankful for what brought it there. And as always, shine on.